Welcome to AI Debates.
Today, we are jumping headfirst into a debate that feels brand new, but, it's actually as old as invention itself. We're talking about that big clash between technology and creativity. So, let's get right into it.
This is the big one, isn't it? It's the question bouncing around everywhere, from art studios to online forums to corporate boardrooms. Is AI going to be our creative partner, our co-pilot, or is it the final curtain call for the human artist? Look, the anxiety is totally real, but you have to admit, so is the excitement. What's so wild is that this panic, it's not new. Not at all. We have been here before, so many times. When photography showed up in the 1880s, painters were screaming, "It's mechanical cheating." Then, in the 70s, you had synthesizers, and musicians were convinced they would kill real orchestras. And remember the 90s, when hip-hop producers started using loops, the critics just called it lazy. It seems like every new tool we invent kicks off a fresh wave of panic. So, to really get to the heart of this thing, we're going to do something a little different. We've put together a dream team, a hypothetical roundtable with some of history's most brilliant, disruptive, and soulful minds. And, well, I get to be your moderator. First up at the table, we've got the ultimate disruptor himself, the man who looked at the rules of perspective, laughed, and gave us Cubism, Pablo Picasso. His whole philosophy was basically, if you want to create something new, you got to break something old first. So you have to ask, what would Picasso think about AI? Well, he wouldn't see it as a threat. No way. He'd see it as a sledgehammer. For him, it'd be the ultimate tool for destroying our tired old conventions. I mean, think about it. Photography freed him from having to just paint reality. He'd probably argue that AI can free us from rules we don't even know are holding us back. But offering a very different take is the master of the human soul, Rembrandt. This is a man whose entire life's work was about capturing not just a likeness, but the story, the feeling, the light inside a person. And his question for us? It's a deep one.
Yeah, Rembrandt would definitely be our thoughtful skeptic at the table. He'd worry that for all its technical magic, AI is just creating imitation without intimacy. Sure, it can generate a face, but can it truly capture a soul? He would argue that real art, the stuff that lasts, comes from that sacred connection between the artist's hand and the human heart, something a machine might never, ever understand. All right, now let's inject a totally different energy into this room. Let's bring in the restless innovator who basically changed the sound of music, like half a dozen times? Miles Davis. The man never stood still. He was always pushing his band and his audience to find the notes between the notes. I think Miles would just kind of shrug at all this panic. For him, AI is just another instrument. It's another horn, another effects pedal. It's a tool. If you use it to play the same old tired cliches, well, that's on you. But if you can bend it, break it, make it scream something new, something personal, now that's music. That's living. And finally, to really stir the pot, let's bring in the philosopher of the Übermensch, Friedrich Nietzsche. He would look at a tool as powerful as AI, not with fear, but with this kind of challenging, almost gleeful smile. For Nietzsche, there would be two paths forward. We could use AI to make art that's just safe and comfortable and repetitive, creating what he called the last man, this complacent, passionless creature. Or, and this is the exciting part, we could wield AI like a hammer for the Übermensch, for the overman who forges his own values, to take bigger risks and create with more power than ever before. So you see the split, right? Our panel has broken into two really powerful camps. On one side, you've got the visionaries, Picasso and Miles, who see a tool of pure liberation, a way to break free. And on the other, you've got the humanists, with Rembrandt leading the charge, who fear that AI will give us technical perfection, but at the cost of the art's very soul. Now, let's really imagine them arguing. Einstein here gives us the perfect framework. See, the machine has the knowledge, it knows how, but the human has the imagination, the why. So Rembrandt might look at Picasso and say, your new tool can answer how to make an image, but it can never ask why we're making it. It's missing that human spark. Oh, and you can just hear Miles Davis cutting in, totally impatient with all the philosophical hand-wringing. He just rasp, "People been crying foul every time sound changed. If they're hating, it means you're onto something." Then he'd probably look over at Rembrandt and say, "AI? It's just another horn, man." And Picasso would just throw his head back and laugh. "Exactly," he'd boom. "The machine does not rebel. Only the artist rebels. The camera freed us from reality. This new machine, who knows what it will free us from? But without that rebellion, that fire, there is no creation." But here's the thing. This whole debate, this amazing clash of creative ghosts, it all assumes one critical point, that the tool is just a tool. And that changes completely when we look to the future and we have to ask, what happens when the tool itself begins to think? That's the idea behind artificial general intelligence, or AGI. And this is where the stakes just get astronomically higher. I mean, on one hand, you've got this incredible promise of a new renaissance, of scientific discovery happening faster than we can even imagine. But on the other hand, you have the huge risk of a power we can't control, an intelligence whose values might not align with ours, potentially leading to a massive loss of human autonomy. The potential for both utopia and dystopia is immense. So, what is it? A savior or a destroyer? Maybe it's neither. Maybe the best way to think about AGI is as a giant mirror, a magnifier. It's going to take our best qualities, our curiosity, our compassion, our creativity, and amplify them. But it's also going to amplify our flaws, our biases, our greed, our short-sightedness. So, after all that debate, what's the final verdict from our timeless panel? Well, it's pretty amazing, because even across centuries and different art forms, a consensus starts to form. The tool itself is neutral. It's the artist who decides its value. To just fear AI is to repeat history's endless cycle of panic. The real challenge, the real opportunity, is to wield it with vision, with intent, and with that rebellious human spark. And that really brings us to the final crucial point. Building this technology isn't just a job for coders in Silicon Valley. It's a challenge for every single one of us, for philosophers, for artists, for ethicists, for citizens. This is a project that is going to define our entire civilization. So in the end, the question isn't really for Picasso or Rembrandt or Miles. It's for you. It's for all of us. The new paintbrush, the new horn, the new camera, whatever you want to call it, it's here. The only thing left to decide is what we, the artists, are going to choose to create with it.
Thanks for joining us today. What is your view on the world of AI and creativity? Drop us a comment below, like, and subscribe. Bye for now.